Stanford versus Norman. Morning.
Morning.
Morning, Your Honor. Jim Kurji, PA 320 on behalf of the plaintiff, Bill Sanford.
Your name?
Susie Norman.
All right. And where are we on this case? Well, good.
So, Your Honor, I submitted a motion for summary disposition. And that there's no genuine issue back here on this non-payment.
Did you get a copy?
I did via email.
Are you going to respond to that?
I have my response was a case that I had opened. It's supposed to go under Judge Barr. That was my response. And I came to the courthouse and wanted to file what I could. And the girls said there was a note on my case that said, Judge Barr, I guess Judge Barr, I don't know. Someone wrote a note that you were going to look at that today and use that as my
Okay, right.
counter,
Well,
since the cases were of the same people.
have you vacated the premises or no?
I have not. As you know, I have my job offer in Seattle, and I'm here because I'm still here in the city because I have to appear in person. So, and just trying to wrap this up.
So in regard to your motion for summary, why wouldn't I consider what she has filed in the other case as creating a genuine issue of material fact?
So, Your Honor, one moment. The jumps to that case is that her property didn't have a certificate of occupancy. That was just brought to light recently as, I guess, a separate claim. Rent was ordered to be placed on escrow by the court. Rent has not been, only 1 month of 3 months rent has been placed on escrow with the court. My motion.
Right, but if there's no certificate, if there's no COC, how does your client even charge rent?
So, Your Honor, my client has been in touch with the city of Pittsfield and has been arranging to get the COC.
The city of Ipsy?
Pittsfield Township.
Yep, okay, that's fine. But how does he charge rent if he doesn't have a COC?
So, Your Honor, this is not a, we're not claiming rent. We're not claiming money damages for rent. We're just claiming for the possession.
I don't know what that means.
This is not a claim for money damages. It's just a claim to return the property. At some point, some rent is due because Ms. Norman remains in possession of the property.
But there's no COC.
Your Honor, the COC expired in March of this year. According to my client, the city of Pittsfield has told him they are shorthanded on building inspectors. That's why he didn't receive a notice. He's been in touch with them to try and get the COC sorted out. The number of things pointed out on the violations of the other case are things such as a permit for electrical outlets, permit for a water heater. There's no complaints in that inspection report of items that are not working. It's items that are not up to code.
Is there anything under the Pittsfield ordinance that extends it?
Say again.
Is there anything under the Pittsfield ordinance that extends the COC?
Not that I'm aware of,
There isn't.
but I have no control over them administering their duties as far as issuing those.
Do you have the prior COC?
I don't, but I don't have it on me, Your Honor. But it was issued in 22.
With CVO.
Yeah.
Right.
My might have it on.
Give me a minute here to get down.
Have a seat, Mayor.
I can,
Did you call to get an inspection?
I called the building department in regards to this matter. And they,
No, prior to March.
no, I did not, because I was not aware that this was about to expire. Normally that process is,
It's a 2-year certificate.
they send out letters saying,
Right, I understand that, but it's a 2-year certificate. So the question is, if she's paid rent through June,
Last payment was on 5/24. And I have a balance on the property of to the best estimate, $19,845 in rent and $1,500 in water bills and other utilities.
19,000?
In rent due. Rent's $3,300. I have the last payment on 5/24 of $2,230. $1,230. If you would like, Rob, I have a ledger based on the payments that were submitted in her other case.
Okay, but you have to get past the legal issue of how can if his certificate of compliance is expired, how does he charge rent?
Your Honor, so I believe that the rent being questioned would be the rent moving forward from the time in which that was brought to our attention. But that's correct, Your Honor.
From the time it's brought to your attention.
Yeah, from the time the issue's raised.
Pardon?
From the time the issue's raised, Your Honor, she signed the lease. She's made payments as if she were, as if there were a COC. Turns out there's no COC. We're not asking for.
From May through today, how do you charge rent if there's no COC?
I believe my client's in a position where he can't charge rent or that rent would be disputed.
That what?
That rent would be disputed and it's being disputed in the other case she's raised.
Right.
Right.
I don't understand what you're saying. You filed a landlord tenant case seeking non-payment of rent. Right?
Seeking possession of the property for now.
Seeking non-payment of rent. Right?
Correct, John.
You can't, under what theory can your client charge rent if he has no certificate of compliance?
Your Honor, I don't have a theory right now as to a legal theory as to how he can do that. I have,
Well, then how are you going to go forth on this case?
the other option, Your Honor, is to do.
We would all agree that in order to charge rent or to rent property in Pittsfield, you have to have a certificate of compliance, right? We're all in agreement on that. He has no certificate of compliance. So how does he charge rent?
So, Your Honor, I think the answer would be that he can't charge rent until he gets a certificate of compliance. Or see,
Okay. So it expired in March. The rent you're claiming she owes is for a period after March through today. And from that period after March into today, he doesn't have a certificate of compliance. So how does one evict?
So, Your Honor, we could go through with a 30-day notice, but my client has been undergoing efforts to obtain that COC. It's not as if he has just ignored the issue. He's made efforts to correct it, and he would like to correct it. The problem with correcting it right now is that Ms. Norman is in possession of the property, and he can't make repairs or has attempted to make repairs. And then
Has he attempted to make repairs?
that is,
I have tried to make repairs. There's been 4 times when I have sent a department to go over there, make repairs, and she has refused me to enter to make those repairs. So I can't make the repairs.
When is the township going over?
What's that?
When is the township coming in to inspect?
Well, they are claiming they're going to come back in November 2nd or something.
Then council, if that's the case, why am I hearing this now? You have no legal theory upon which you can proceed. The other case is now my case, so I'm just going to consider it as a counter to this case. So why am I hearing it today if your client has no COC?
Your Honor, I heard it first at the last hearing, so I may have a moment to confer with my client. Thank you, Your Honor. If we can agree to dismiss this at this time and move forward with under a different process as we try and as my client attempts to obtain a COC. The board feels that that's the best thing to do at this time.
I'm just trying to figure out how you're going to proceed. I think part of Ms. Norman's claim is that she's owed money.
So Ms. Norman has been in possession of the property the whole time under a lease agreement. Now that lease agreement has an issue with the COC.
Which she cannot legally do because he doesn't have a COC.
So without more investigation into the COC and why that wasn't issued or what the issues are with the COC, I can't speak to the matter at this time. I've looked at the inspection report that was provided in the other case, and the items on the inspection report didn't appear to be items that would be interfering with the daily use of the premises.
You do understand this isn't about habitability.
Correct, Your Honor. My client has, have you had some difficulty obtaining?
What's that?
You had some difficulty obtaining COC looking for?
It's probably was.
Yeah.
Well, they made an inspection and made this report, and they have another inspection lined up for the November 2nd. But if she won't let me go in to make repairs, I told the building department, because we're in the middle of an eviction, that I want to delay that till she lets me in. Will you make an order to?
Your Honor, I think he's saying until he believed he would get possession back and then finish the permitting of the boiler and whatever was on the inspection report.
When are you going to let him in?
The problem with me letting him in, the first time, he comes over unannounced, and I've asked him not to do that. I've asked him to contact.
Okay, Ms.
me.
Norman, give me a date that you're going to let him in.
He give you a date when he could come in and repair, or when? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. My bad.
Isn't that what I said?
Is that what you said?
Yes. That's what I said.
I don't have a problem with him coming in. I have a problem with him cornering me off, asking me when I'm getting out of there when this case is ongoing. He's done that twice. That's why I have a police report on my other case, because he just popped up unannounced, asking me when I'm going to pay the rent, flashing the water bill. I talked to Cindy at the Pittsfield Township every time we have a court date, and he has me paying it. He's suing me for the water bill. I just let them know that I will, if whatever the ruling is, I will let them know if I have to pay it or if I have to pay him and he's going to pay it. So that's the only problem. He comes unannounced and he starts asking me when I'm paying the rent, when I'm putting stuff in escrow, when I'm doing this, when I'm doing that. And that makes me feel uncomfortable. So if he needs, and I know that the city has had he said that they were backed up and couldn't come. I called them and they came for me to inspect it.
Okay. So I don't know why neither of you want to answer my question.
As I don't have a problem with him coming and doing his repairs, if that's what.
So what day can he come in?
Whatever. I mean, he can give me a day. He's all over like, we've done this before, and it's like, you have to ask him. I will make it.
Okay, so what day do you want to go do the repairs?
I cannot say that it's gonna be all in one day. There are several.
Okay, so what day do you want to start doing the repairs?
I will start, later this week. I will come in,
That,
Thursday or Friday. Either that,
Emily, if I said to you, give me a date for a case, would you just give me any date and just an approximation? No? Because that's not what I asked, right? Yeah. So. Glad we got it straight, because I was trying to figure out if that's how it worked. Yes, you.
I will do the work next week. Between Monday and Friday, I will,
So what date are you gonna, geez, oh, Pete? Just,
Monday.
what is Monday, Emily?
the 28th.
28th.
But I will also, if I need to be in there other days, there's drywall repair that needs to be done, that cannot be done in one trip. I need to have inspectors, lined up and scheduled to come in for their process. And I don't know what their schedule is and when I can get an inspection for them. It's not a one-day repair to get these things done.
Oh, no, I've seen the pictures. I realized it was gonna be more than a day. So you're gonna go in, start repairs on the 28th. Question mark, right?
Monday, the 28th. I will plan on going in and doing all the repairs I can that day. There will be other issues that still need to be addressed with
You guys.
the building department.
Okay.
Sorry.
But
When are you leaving? That was also a question.
I am leaving as soon as I don't have to come back to court anymore. I mean, can we do it in Zoom in Seattle? I just can't move from there to another spot and then to Seattle. The only reason I'm still here is because this case is still going. And the reason I'm here is
Okay.
seeing the pictures.
So,
I mean, is this case going to be done after today? Is it going to be completed, finished?
at the rate you guys are going? Really? Hey, so here's what I'm going to suggest. Can you guys talk to each other civilly? Without me?
I
Don't think so.
certainly think I can.
Your Honor, so, this case resolves itself with possession.
What?
This case resolves itself with possession. Should Ms. Norman have be moving to or going to Seattle?
Except counsel. You're charging rent. You just told me it was 19,000 that you want from her.
Your Honor, what we want is possession. We haven't claimed, there's been no claim for money judgment.
So you're gonna waive rent?
No.
Okay.
Well, in this case, we're not asking for rent.
Wait, Your Honor, my client agrees to waive rent.
Okay, well, would you agree to release the escrow to me so he can get possession? I can go and the case can be done today.
Wow.
As much as I like to be in this courtroom, this is my eighth.
Oh, I liked it until this morning.
What?
Look, here's what we're going to do. You're waiving rent. You're waiving any claim for monetary damages.
Yeah,
Is that right?
yes.
And when are you going to leave?
10 days? Or less?
Perfect.
Just because you said perfect. I'm not trying to stress you out, Judge.
You are not stressing me out.
Okay,
Trust
good,
me.
Good.
Trust me. I got a lot more. I got a lot of
Okay.
other things that stress me out. This is not one of them.
Oh. There's the bright spot.
Okay, so what are we doing? You waived your claim for rent. You're moving when?
10 days or less, and I can take the key.
Jeez, so Pete, give me a date. Just give me a date that you're going to leave.
What is the date today? The 22nd? October 31st.
It was the 22nd. It's probably the 25th by now.
October 30th.
What? October 30th. Will that work?
That worked, Your Honor.
Do I need to get this repairs done next week? Or that's, can be done after she moves out?
Write up a conditional order of dismissal, waiving all claims for rent money. You can put both case numbers on it because if there's no claims for money, then that would resolve your other case, would it not? Amazing how I do this. Write up a conditional order of dismissal, look it over. She's going to leave on the 30th and then come back and I'll sign it. All right. I'll pass the matter so you can write that up
All right, thank you.
Come back today.
today. Oh, no, you guys are not leaving.
In escrow.
What about it?
I'd like to have that.
Okay. If they've waived all claims for money, what do you think happens to escrow?
I don't assume anything. In nursing, we don't assume it. I can't assume it in your courtroom, sir. As long as it's written on the conditional dismissal, then fine. Can't assume anything. I don't know the law language. I don't know it.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
aware.
I know.
I'm aware.
The 8 times I've been here.
What?
I said, I know you probably gathered that the 8 times I've been here.
It's only been 8? Seems like 50. All right. Go out, write that up. Escrow goes back to defendant, plaintiff on the other case, and then we can be done with this.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Hey, do me a favor. Keep an eye on them because that's going to blow up. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to blow up.